More than 13 years ago, St. John Vianney Theological Seminary opened its doors on the old campus of St. Thomas Seminary. It was a decision made with both a deep sense of promise and at the same time some trepidation. But as Catholics, we believe we can measure the will of God in our lives by the fruit it produces. And the fruits have been remarkable, especially when combined with Redemptoris Mater Missionary Seminary, which was opened on the campus in 1996. Today, more than 120 men are studying at the seminaries. What was once a dream is today a reality. And a founding part of that dream to reality vision is our Archbishop Samuel Aquila, who was the founding rector of the seminary back in 1999.
Certainly the vision has been realized, I believe. We took it from the Paris model that Cardinal Lustiger set up in the 80s in Paris, France. And from what I experienced when I went to visit Paris, when we were getting ready to found this seminary, I see the fruits of Paris happening here, and especially with the growth of the seminary, with the witness that the seminary is able to give to young men who may be thinking about priesthood, and also the involvement of the young men in their spiritual lives, of really grounding them in their personal relationship with Jesus Christ and with the Church.
In the early days of the seminary, there were really just a handful of seminarians at St. John Vianney, all from Denver. Today, with more than 100 men engaged in studies, the growth has drawn men globally.
One of the things that's important to realize is that there's not another seminary. If Denver were not here, there would not be another seminary for the West until you got to San Francisco, and there wouldn't be another one to the East until you got to St. Louis. So it really is important for this region of the United States, which is becoming so unique in many ways, to also have its own seminary. So it's great for us to be able to draw from a regional area, but even internationally we draw men from other places in the world who come here to study. So it's really been a blessing.
And this growth has not come without its pain. Most of that pain has been reflected in the physical plant of the seminaries, much of which is 70 to 80 years old, and in some cases, more than 100 years old. Redemptoris Mater has systematically improved its facilities over the last several years with internal remodeling of the older building and new construction, including chapels, classrooms, refectory, and some dorm rooms. St. John Vianney hasn't done much of that. So, a new harvest campaign was launched 18 months ago to address the need of both the physical plant and to increase the endowment. Through the just completed campaign, more than $42 million have been pledged over the next 5 years.
The generosity of the people in the Archdiocese has been extraordinary. People came forward and literally helped to build this seminary. In the beginning, just a handful of families who, with extraordinary generosity, helped us get off the ground. And then now, with involvement in the New Harvest campaign of all the people in the Archdiocese, it's really, people have taken ownership of the seminary and really shown their great love for the priesthood and for seminarians by the generous donations they've made towards the seminary.
The real beneficiaries of this extraordinary kindness are the men who study here, the men who will serve you one day.
And the beauty of our life is that we're constantly with Him. He's constantly forming us to be His priest, to be like Him. And that's the gift of the seminary, is that it's a constant formation to be another Jesus, to be another Christ in the world, to be His peace, His joy, His happiness, His forgiveness to the people that we encounter day in and day out. So it's an amazing life, and it's an amazing gift to be a seminarian. I think the only life that will be better than this is the life of being a priest.
This seminary has given me so much in every department, that there are different areas of our formation that are the envy of other seminaries. So in particular, our spirituality year is something very unique that other places don't do. And I have friends at other seminaries, and they just marvel at the degree of spiritual formation that we get right off the bat, which sets the stage for everything that we're going to do for the next 6 years. If you don't know God and you don't know how to pray, why do you want to be a priest? You can learn about priestly things, or you can study priestly things, or you can even do priestly things, but if you don't know Jesus Christ, how can you be His priest?
But it isn't all work for these young men, and it shouldn't be. Just as we all are, a priest is also meant to be a well-rounded person humanly. Yes, a student, but also an athlete, a friend, a regular guy.
The most important formators in the seminary are the other brothers. There's a way in which you guys sharpen each other as you're going through that no one else can, because you trust one another. You're vulnerable to one another. And so that's the grace of being in seminary.
And at the center of all this priestly formation is a life of prayer, a life of caring, a life of relationship with the person of Jesus Christ, and through that relationship, bringing to the faithful of the Church the true presence of the risen Lord and the hope of an eternity with Him.